Also following some breaking news right now in Hamden, where police have confirmed that 2 people have died at a home. Now, Pinpoint News Tracker shows you exactly where this all took place. It was at 5 Hampton Road, and officers told us that they were called to that address on Monday. Now, right now, they're saying that this appears to be an isolated domestic incident, and the investigation remains active at this time. However, we are told that there is no threat to the public.